What if the habits that made the world's most popular people billionaires were the very same ones tearing their lives apart? Obsessive fasting, brutal work schedules, sleep deprivation, habits so extreme they blur the lines between genius and madness. Today we dive into the dark routines of the rich and powerful. Elon Musk's relentless 100-hour work weeks that have cost him family and health. Steve Jobs' extreme diets that isolated him from those closest to him. Jack Dorsey's self-imposed punishment of fasting and ice baths. And Howard Hughes, whose obsession with control drove him into a life of complete isolation. These aren't just success stories, they're cautionary tales about how the habits that build empires can also break the people who create them. You know Elon Musk as the man behind Tesla, SpaceX, and several other ventures. But his obsessive work habits haven't come without cost, especially in his personal life. Musk is famous for his 100-hour work weeks and near constant time blocking, leaving little to no room for anything else. He splits his time between multiple companies, and this relentless focus on work has impacted his marriages and relationships. Musk has been married 3 times, twice to the same woman, and has 6 children. But how does one balance family with a work schedule so intense it leaves just a few hours for sleep? In an interview with Rolling Stone, Musk revealed that he often feels lonely and has struggled with finding a true work-life balance. "I work crazy hours, so there's not a lot of time for things like dating," Musk admitted, and his emotional toll doesn't stop there. He described the breakdown of his marriage to Tallulah Riley as devastating.
You get lonely?
Sometimes, but my kids and friends keep me company.
Revealing that his work habits left him isolated, emotionally drained, and unable to connect fully with his loved ones. Elon Musk doesn't just work around the clock. He works until reality collapses, dragging those around him into his world of relentless ambition. His sleep habits, or lack thereof, are also cause for concern. Musk has publicly stated that he frequently sleeps on the factory floor during difficult times at Tesla, and he often sleeps just 2 to 4 hours a night. His constant immersion in work has led to stress-induced breakdowns. During one particularly challenging period for Tesla, Musk admitted, "I was working 120-hour weeks, and it was brutal." He said he would spend hours on the factory floor, foregoing showers and meals. A close colleague said he pushes so hard that he burns through people. The sacrifices he makes for work destroy any hope of a normal personal life. Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, was infamous for his iron-fisted control over every aspect of his company and his personal life. Jobs' obsessive dietary habits weren't just odd, they strained his relationships. He would often refuse to eat anything but one type of food for weeks on end, like carrots, which allegedly turned his skin a slight orange hue. Jobs' vegan diet and fasting regimes were so restrictive that his loved ones worried about his health, calling his behavior unreasonable and irrational. But his strictness extended far beyond food. It was woven into his interactions with family and friends. In fact, Jobs had a notorious tendency to reject and isolate people who didn't fit his idea of perfection. For years, Jobs denied paternity of his daughter, Lisa Brennan Jobs, even though a DNA test proved he was her father.
Lisa Brennan is not my child.
The courts disagree.
Christiana's a lunatic. It's impossible.
Lisa has recounted how Jobs' coldness, detachment, and focus on his work often left her feeling abandoned and rejected. "He didn't just ignore me, he erased me," Lisa wrote in her memoir. Steve Jobs' obsession wasn't just about creating perfect products. It was about erasing anything and anyone that didn't fit his vision, even his own daughter. Jobs' emotional distance and single-mindedness took a toll on his marriage to Laurene Powell Jobs, whom he married in 1991. His colleagues at Apple described him as impossible to please, often exploding in fits of rage over the smallest mistake. At home, he would carry this intensity with him, creating an environment that was often emotionally charged and tense. Howard Hughes, aviation pioneer, filmmaker, and one of the richest men of his time, was a man whose habits not only bordered on the obsessive, they ultimately consumed him. Hughes' extreme phobias and compulsions began small: cleanliness, structure, and organization. But as his wealth grew, so did his paranoia, and these habits escalated into full-blown rituals that overtook his life. From one of the richest men alive to a recluse in a dark room, Hughes' life is proof that genius and madness are two sides of the same coin. Hughes' obsession with germs led to severe isolation. He would lock himself in dark rooms for weeks or months on end, emerging only to issue commands to his staff. They were given bizarrely specific instructions on how to handle everything, from how to bring him food to how to wash their hands before touching anything that belonged to him. Hughes became so paranoid about germs that he stopped touching doorknobs, avoided human contact entirely, and eventually stopped going outside. His mental health declined rapidly as he became more and more of a recluse. By the time he was middle-aged, Hughes was living in hotels where he demanded entire floors be shut down for his privacy, and his paranoia drove away nearly everyone close to him. He surrounded himself with yes-men, people who would never question his increasingly strange behavior. A former associate said his obsession with control and cleanliness drove his wife, Jean Peters, to leave him, and he was left entirely alone, confined to a self-imposed prison ruled by his compulsions. Hughes ultimately died in near total isolation, malnourished, with unkept hair and nails, a man destroyed by the very habits that once made him powerful. Minimalism is all the rage today, but Jack Dorsey, co-founder of Twitter and Square, takes it to extremes that have left many questioning his health and state of mind. Dorsey practices biohacking, a method of extreme self-optimization that at its core strips life down to the essentials. For Dorsey, this means one meal a day and intermittent fasting that stretches for 72 hours over the weekends. Dorsey openly admits that his fasting leads to feeling euphoric but also hallucinogenic, as his mind is slipping into another state of reality. What if the key to Jack Dorsey's success wasn't brilliance, but brutal self-punishment, eating once a day, plunging into ice baths, walking miles to work in a trance of self-imposed solitude? People close to Dorsey have raised concerns about how his extreme routines impact his personal life. It's rumored that Dorsey's strict habits made him emotionally unavailable to those around him, and that his off-the-grid lifestyle caused a rift between him and his partners. One close friend said, his devotion to routine isn't just about self-improvement. It's like he's punishing himself for something. He would go on silent retreats for weeks at a time, practicing meditation for hours every day. These habits were meant to bring him clarity, but those who knew him said it made him distant, withdrawn, and almost robot-like. Many wondered if his relentless commitment to his habits was taking a toll on his judgment and effectiveness as CEO. Finally, some of the most powerful people have paid a massive personal price for their success. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men alive, is famous for his fast food diet: 5 cans of Coca-Cola a day, McDonald's for breakfast, and an obsession with junk food that he's continued for decades. While it may sound trivial, this routine has reportedly taken a toll on his health. Friends have expressed concern about his diet, and even Buffett himself has joked about how poor his eating habits are, saying, "I am 1/4 Coca-Cola." Warren Buffett may be a financial wizard, but his daily Coke-fueled diet reveals a disturbing truth. The wealthiest minds in the world aren't immune to self-destructive habits. But the habit goes deeper. Buffett claims his fast food obsession is a way to stay grounded and remind himself of his roots. However, it raises the question, how much of this is an attachment to comfort, and how much of it is an inability to break from old, damaging routines? The habit may seem small, but it shows how even the most successful people can fall into patterns that hold them back. So what are we really looking at? The habits of the rich and powerful are extreme, relentless, and sometimes downright shocking. They make you wonder, what's the cost of success? When habits cross the line from discipline to obsession, from productive to punishing, are they making these individuals great, or are they breaking them down? Greatness demands sacrifice, but when habits become chains, even the wealthiest and most powerful are at risk of losing everything they hold dear. The richest and most powerful people in the world may seem like they have it all, but behind the curtain, their obsessive habits can tear apart the very fabric of their lives. But here's the good news. You don't need extreme habits to be successful. There are ways to improve your productivity, health, and happiness that don't involve obsession, isolation, or self-punishment. 1. Prioritize sleep over grinding. Unlike Elon Musk, who sleeps just 2 to 4 hours during crunch time, research shows that a full 7 to 8 hours of sleep is vital for creativity, problem-solving, and decision-making. Try winding down an hour before bed, reducing screen time, and establishing a sleep routine that leaves you feeling recharged. 2. Create a morning routine that sets a positive tone. Instead of Jack Dorsey's punishing ice baths, start your day with a morning routine that energizes you. A quick 10-minute meditation, light stretching, or simply drinking a glass of water with lemon can wake up your mind and body in a balanced, healthy way. 3. Use time blocking, but leave room for flexibility. Elon Musk schedules his day in 5-minute intervals, but you don't need to micromanage every second. Instead, try time blocking your day in bigger chunks. Set aside time for deep work, personal time, and rest. But don't be afraid to move things around as needed. Flexibility and self-care are just as important as productivity. 4. Eat for energy, not obsession. Steve Jobs' extreme dietary habits weren't healthy, and you don't have to mimic them to achieve focus. Instead, focus on balanced meals with lean proteins, whole grains, fruits, and veggies. Regular meals spaced out during the day will keep your energy and mental clarity high without the risks of extreme fasting or mono diets. 5. Move every day, even if it's just a walk. Physical activity is important, but you don't have to go to the extremes of David Goggins. A daily walk, some stretching, or even a quick workout routine is enough to keep your body and mind sharp without overdoing it. Exercise to feel strong and energized, not to break yourself. 6. Practice mindful breaks for mental clarity. Instead of going into intense isolation like Howard Hughes or hyper-productivity like Musk, learn to take regular breaks throughout your day. A short walk outside, a quick meditation, or even just standing up to stretch can help reset your brain, boost your creativity, and keep burnout at bay. Greatness doesn't have to come at the cost of your well-being. Success can be sustainable, balanced, and still incredibly powerful. Try these healthier habits to build your own path to success, one that empowers you, improves your life, and keeps you thriving without burning out. This is the Elite Playbook. Subscribe for more insights into mastering your habits and building a better life.